Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm going to be doing a video on how borderline personality disorder affects me. I feel this is crucial because a lot of the time I get caught up in my own ways of thinking and I do not even realize it's simply BPD and not me. So I'll go through the list of the 9 criteria of BPD, the 9 symptoms of BPD as they call it, and I will probably link that down below. It's what they use to diagnose someone with borderline personality disorder. Personally, I feel they're a bit limiting, but I'll tell you how they relate to me. So, fear of abandonment, that's the first one. Yes, that is a very, very big one for me. I'm constantly afraid that people are going to leave me. I'm constantly afraid that my boyfriend's going to leave me. So much so that I'll sabotage the relationship. I will do things like, well, it used to get to this point where I would just reassurance seek with him all the time. I would do things such as ask him, are you going to leave me? Are you going to leave me? Are you going to leave me? And eventually it did end up pushing him away, but we did get back together again. So, I'll freak out, like if he doesn't respond to my text immediately, I'll start thinking, oh no, he's going to leave me, he's not going to respond. If he doesn't like put a smiley face or like something or like an emoji or something, it will freak me out and I'll think, oh no, things are going poorly, he's going to leave me. On top of that, I will have a lot of paranoia around it, a lot of feelings like I've ruined the relationship in an instant. So that's just, I could go on and on about the fear of abandonment, but I've ruined a lot of relationships over it, and luckily this one I have maintained for almost a year now, and I'm very happy about that, and I definitely learned a lot from it. And if anything, I want this relationship to be a tool for me to learn, so I can be in a healthy relationship if I so choose. Next one, this ties into what I was just talking about before, unstable relationships. I would say this is very true. I had a lot of issues with promiscuity when I was young. I slept with a lot of guys. I had a lot of sex. And I would just go through guys like that. I would go through friends like that. And I only have really one friend that I've maintained for over a year. Yes, only one or two friends I've maintained for over a year. And this is a testament to, how quickly things can shift in your mind. I'm very good at keeping superficial relationships, but when it comes to deep relationships, especially romantic relationships, then that's where all of my borderline features come out. So that absolutely affects me. Unclear, unstable self-image, yes, that is also very, very big. One of the only things I've maintained is really Buddhism. That is really the only one constant I know I actually like. But my identity shifts from well, even then on the spectrum of that, my identity shifts from being like the Buddhist to being the eating disorder person, to being the clarinetist, to being the smart person, to being this, to being that. And it's always flipping. One moment I'll love myself, the next I'll hate myself. And it's really very much dichotomized in my mind. So, unstable self-image is a big one. I would always want, when I was little, I would always want to change my name. I would always want to have a different job, or always want to change my major. I haven't even began college yet because of avoidance, such another trait. But yeah, that's a big one for me. I would always say, well, I want, to become a physicist, and then I want to become a pharmacist, and then I want to be a teacher. I, want to do this or want to do that or something. It would just constantly flip back and forth the entire time. So, Compulsive self-destructive behaviors. My eating disorder is a great example of this. I starve myself when I binge and purge, and I don't maintain a healthy weight. Additionally, I used to also be very promiscuous. I slept with many guys. I would also sabotage relationships by sending texts, sabotage friendships, stop taking medication, a lot of those sorts of things. So it goes on, beyond typical self-destructive behaviors, to also more the micro level of things, such as like texting and such. Self-harm, this is a lesser one for me, but I used to cut myself. I suppose some people could say my eating disorder is self-harm in a way, but that's not necessarily my intent to it all the time. I used to cut myself. I have scars in my leg because of it. So that's another thing. Suicidal behavior. Yes, I've frequently been dealing with suicidality recently. Frequently been talking about my death with my family. So suicidal behavior. Yeah. Extreme emotional swings. Yes. Yes. It's similar to bipolar disorder, but it's on a much smaller level, and there's a bigger range of emotions than just mania and depression. So, for instance, one moment I'll be very placid, tranquil, and calm. The next moment I'll kill myself. Or one moment I'll be very happy and content and in love, and the next moment I'll be so paranoid that my boyfriend's going to leave me. One moment I'll, just be totally serene. It's my dog barking. So, and the next moment replete with anxiety. So, I was on a mood stabilizer for that, but I stopped taking it because it was giving me tremors, and because I personally don't like taking medication, which goes into me not being able to trust therapists and thinking I know more than therapists and thinking I know more than psychiatry. So that's what that goes. Chronic feelings of emptiness. Yes, this also goes back to the unstable self-image and identity, but a lot of the time I do feel very, very empty, like I have no purpose in life, like the only purpose I have is to lose weight, is to binge and purge, is, that's it. So, a lot of the time I will just feel like I'm a husk of a person, I suppose. It's, one of my therapists did say, my dog's being a bit talkative today. I hope it's not too disturbing. A lot of my voice is rather quiet, so I hope that you're able to hear me over her loquacious nature. Anyways, but yes, harkening back to that, my therapist said that a lot of the time I use food as a way to fill that emptiness. And I suppose that is true sometimes, because whenever I get something, I'll always be unhappy, and then I won't want it. For instance, I went to a temple. I had a great meditation session there, and I stayed there and meditated for a good 2.5 hours, I think. Got in a great practice session a while back, and then I came and I binged because I felt so empty. I felt like I didn't have a place in the world, and it's a really painful feeling. You don't want to put up with it. That's the same thing with sex too. I use sex a lot to cope with those feelings of emptiness and feeling like I would never be there for anyone. So, explosive anger, this is less for me now, but I used to have outbursts a lot. I attribute my success to medication and meditation and dialectical behavioral therapy, DBT. But explosive anger, I would take things, I would throw things. I told my mother she just needed to get over her grandfather's or her father's death. I told her I would yell at my boyfriend. I would just go raging. I ran away from a treatment facility when I was there one time. I would cause I would bait people in groups, and then I would yell at them. So I would do things like try to get them to say responses to me so I could yell at them. And I would do that with my parents. It was constant arguments, constant tension and arguments. Also a lot of push and pull stuff, like me pushing them away and then having them um, come here with my wife and like, there's a book I called I Hate You But Don't Leave Me, is that what I think it's called, and I would do that a lot. Like, when I was in the hospital with my mother, Kendra was like, just get out of here. I do not want you here. You're just making it worse for me. And then when she would be like, wait, no, I want you here. I want you here. I'm scared without you. And so it would be a lot of those really impulsive, kind of uncertain feelings that flip like that, like almost like, those, I don't have like a notepad, like when you're flipping paper, it's very quick, very ephemeral too. Feeling suspicious and out of touch with reality. That's a big one for me. I have a lot of psychotic symptoms. What will happen is I'll get really stressed out, and then I'll get paranoid. It's mostly around abandonment, and sometimes I'll hear voices, I'll have auditory hallucinations, such as people saying my name, or I'll think people are talking about me, or I think people are conspiring against me, and also get delusions of sorts, such as feeling like I'm very hated by many people. I have no worth. People are going to abandon me. People are just leading me on. It's all a joke. No one actually really likes me. So that's a big one. That was the 9 symptoms. A lot of it, I feel there's a lot more to it than just those 9 symptoms. A lot of the things like, as I mentioned earlier, the push and pull, certain behavioral things, baiting people, extremes of anxiety. Well, that was covered there. But, there's a lot of things like avoidance, not wanting to go out so you don't get abandoned, self-sabotage, which I do a lot, either through my eating disorder or through other mediums. But I've come really close to self-sabotaging this relationship a lot, just because it's so scary to be in a relationship. It really is. And I got him a card. I got him a really for this week card, but it's scary to get close to someone like this. And it's a year, and you think, well, you should just be over it by now. But it's like I'm just waiting for him to leave me, because like that's what all the other people I did stuff with. But of course, I sabotage with relationships, and I put myself in situations where I would be left behind. So it's a self-fulfilling prophecy of sorts. But that's mostly it. Just, I mean, it's a lot of stuff, and I probably will do more videos on borderline personality disorder, because I really think it affects me a lot, and it's a big part of my life, unfortunately. And I haven't had much luck in dealing with it, but I've been watching videos of other males with borderline personality disorder, and that's helped me a lot. And, I guess hopefully my videos will help someone else. I hope they do, because it's very difficult to see past the mirage that BPD puts up, but it is a mirage, a phantom, an illusion, and ultimately, once you realize that, and understand, that's the first step in coming past it. So it's the 4 Noble Truths. The first noble truth, there is suffering, should be understood, and borderline personality disorder is suffering. So thank you for watching my video. Feel free to comment. This is a bit of a longer one. It's a bit further away. A lot of my people view me because of my eating disorder, but I will begin incorporating BPD more into my channel. So, thank you.